Welcome to another episode of It's Debatable NBA Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones. I'm here with co-host Jalen Green, co-host Sebastian Pluvios. How are y'all feeling?
Go, man.
You ready to talk basketball?
I'm cozy.
Always.
Gonna get into it. All right. So we're gonna start off in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks and the Cavs have both gotten off to fast starts. The Bucks having an underrated, undefeated record at 9-0, and the Cavs at 8-1. With both teams at the top of the East, I'll start with Jalen. Whose start has been more impressive, the Cavs or the Bucks?
I definitely say the Cavs. To me, I feel granted they lost their starting point guard in Darius Garland. He just came back. Just played 3 games. But having that injury, with him like facilitating the offense, then Donovan Mitchell being new into the system, and having the success that he's having, exploding. I think around like 27 points per game. Just having that success as a newcomer to the offense and defeating contending teams like the Celtics and cruising through like the Eastern Conference so far. I feel like that's very impressive on their part. The Bucks, not a slight to them. Granted, they have their starting small forward out in Chris Middleton, but I feel like the competition in which they're facing is not a surprise to why they're 9-0. If you look at the schedule, I feel like the only rigorous test that they had was really like the 76ers. Everything else you kind of expected them to win. But I feel like the Cavaliers are definitely more impressive.
Seb, I asked the same question to you. Whose start has been more impressive, the Milwaukee Bucks or the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Definitely the Cleveland Cavaliers. When you look at it early on, I had them like in a plane, but they're not even playing like a playing team. They're on an 8-game win streak. They really look good out there, especially Donovan Mitchell. Coming into this, I didn't really see like him just taking that next leap, but coming in now, he's averaging 31 points a game, 6 assists. Like it looks like he's really flourishing in that role over there in Cleveland, looking like an early MVP candidate. Especially when Darius Garland went out, he definitely took a major role in facilitating the offense. A lot of dudes stepped up. You seen a guy like Karis LeVert drop 41 on the Celtics. Another thing to give their offense really too. They're averaging like 116 points a game while only giving up 103. So JB Bickerstaff got a good squad over there. They're actually like they're competing at the highest level. I think right now. I just want to see how well that maintains throughout the season. But I'd have to say the Cavs.
Well, first off, I'll start off by saying I told you so. And I also told you so because I was the only one up here on this panel that had the Cavs as the top 4 seed, and both of y'all were doubting the team.
I mean,
I just want to hold
season-
on, no,
season ain't ended.
hold on. I let you talk. Hold on, I let you talk, and I did not cut you off.
You're
Can I
right.
talk?
All right, get your shit off.
All right. So then, when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell has been a seamless fit. Like I said, going into the predictions of the season, they basically acquired him and didn't really give anything too critical away. They gave away a Colin Sexton that, with only about one fourth of the season played, he got injured, so they didn't have him, and they didn't have who else got injured last year on the Cavs?
Marketing.
Marketing played, I
No, no.
think.
I'm just drawing a blank.
Rubio got hurt, but
Marketing was the one who got traded, but he definitely played. But Donovan Mitchell, the star status that he's on, giving away Colin Sexton and a Laurie Marketing was a steal to me. So they have been great. Donovan Mitchell has been great in those late game situations. They've definitely had a lot of tough battles. Some with the Boston Celtics that I seen on ESPN. But when it comes to who's been more impressive, I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Bucks though, just due to the fact they have not lost a single game yet, and they have not had Chris Middleton. Usually with the Milwaukee Bucks to start off the season, the last couple years, they've gone off to kind of slow starts where they're trying to figure out the offense, figure out the defense, and they kind of cruise through the regular season, knowing that with Giannis healthy, they're gonna be at least a top 4 seed. You want him healthy for those moments, but they have not lost the game. They've looked dominant in damn near all of their matchups. Giannis is to me the leading candidate for the MVP this year. Mike Budenholzer, who I had as the coach of the year for this year, has been coaching the hell out of that team. So Giannis just playing on both sides of the ball. I want to give a shout out to Brooke Lopez because I feel he's had a quote unquote bounce back season from last season, even though he wasn't bad last season. Just what he's doing defensively this year and being able to hit that three ball again, I think is huge. And yes, we know they're missing Chris Middleton, but they're also missing a Joe Ingles that also has not suited up yet. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's another 3 and D wing that's gonna be very important to the way that they run their offense. So
Who else I think Pat Connaughton's out too.
okay,
Yeah,
and
another solid player that they had throughout the years as well.
correct. So also shout out to Pat Connaughton, hoping that he gets healthy soon. So they're also missing some vital pieces to the team, and yet they have not lost a game yet. So in my opinion, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks, who also I had as winning the championship this year. So right now I just want to say that some of my predictions are just looking
The only reason why I didn't
just
say the
quite up
Bucks,
to par.
the only reason why I didn't say the Bucks is because like it's Giannis and you already know what they're gonna do. But I feel like
Mhm.
with Cleveland now, it's just like a team that was like already like all right, they was on the verge of making the playoffs last year, and now to see them take that step.
But then look, Seb, you gotta understand that and remember that before their big man got hurt, were they not a top four seed?
Yeah, they definitely was.
So if the big man never got hurt, I think they still would have been a top four seed. So it was like now that everyone came back healthy, and you add in a Donovan Mitchell, I didn't see how they couldn't have been better.
I definitely agree on that. I just feel like this year is just like just the way everything is set up. It's just like you got a scary backcourt,
Mhm.
a real scary backcourt. Now that I seen Darius Garland off the comeback, just look like he didn't miss a step. Donovan Mitchell, like I didn't know how well they could work with each other together,
Yeah.
but it's like they defer to each other. They definitely hit the three ball at a high rate as well as what am I missing? They get to the line a lot too. They
Yeah,
definitely get.
Donovan Mitchell off those pick and pops off the dribble, I believe is leading the league in that category. Him shooting the three ball has been great this year. Donovan Mitchell is, I feel, the X factor on this team.
Mm.
But we also got to realize we got a player like Evan Mobley who's in his second year, whose numbers are a little bit down, but it's okay because what he's doing on the
It's
deep,
effective.
Yeah.
what he's doing on the defensive end has been great for them. So you got to realize how good can this team be with Evan Mobley as what your third best player?
Mhm.
Third or fourth.
So
And then Jared Allen still has a lot of value to it. That's
no,
another
right,
value
right.
talking about.
Definitely shout out to Jared Allen and
Shout out to the whole cast. Shout out to
Yeah.
JV, Vicker staff, what they doing over there.
Yeah, big shout out to them.
Yeah, my fault for doubting y'all, but
Yeah.
shout out to y'all.
All right. So moving on to the next topic, a topic that has been kind of frowned upon in certain circles in the NBA culture. Kyrie Irving.
Mhm.
Kyrie Irving over the last couple weeks has been in the media for the wrong reason. On October 27th, he posted a social media link that was linked to a documentary that portrayed some anti-Semitic beliefs. When Irving was asked about the post, he definitely denied that he was anti-Semitic, but did not apologize. About a week later, a couple days ago, it was announced that he has been suspended by the Brooklyn Nets for a minimum of 5 games, and then to even be, reinstated back with the team has to go through certain steps to get back on the court. So, Seb, I'm gonna start with you here. What should the Nets do with Kyrie Irving?
Oh man. Let me just start off by saying this. There's always something with the Nets. Let's just put it like that.
Mhm.
Think they could just go out there and just play ball, just let it be straight basketball. It's always something with the Nets. So I think what they should do in the Kyrie Irving situation is if he takes all the right steps for them to reinstate him back, just play ball and just let him play out his contract, or really and just find like a place for him to go play. Because at this point, it's every season now. It's everything is always some type of drama. Like I don't know what type of organization cannot hold their players accountable or cannot hold it to just straight basketball. Like what have we seen basketball wise from them? So they do have the talent over there, but I just feel like they should let this play out and they should just start a rebuild at this point because everything is just basically drama. I had them third in the beginning of the season now. Everything besides first they fire Steve Nash, then they talk about putting Ime Udoka as head coach. Now this Kyrie situation. I just feel like the Nets are a mess organization. I feel like they should both ways should just part way mutually. That's truthfully my opinion.
All right, Jalen, I'll ask you the same question, seeing that you're the captain of the Brooklyn Nets pity party, and anything that they do, you condone. So I would like to ask you, what should the Nets do with Kyrie Irving
I,
if he's comes back to the team?
I feel like the 5 game punishment or whatever is just enough. I feel all the like extra stuff that they have him doing is really unnecessary. Um, Honestly, to me, I feel like he's being unwrongfully blamed. He only posted a link, nothing. He didn't make a statement towards Jews, nothing anti-Semitic, and even if you, the main point of his posting that link was about the black history and all of that. And then the only reason why it's anti-Semitic is because in the documentary it comes as Jews owning the slaves and how they dealt with slaves throughout the whole documentary. Like I read the review on the there's nothing that says I hate Jews. Jews are like abomination. It just depicts them in a wrong lighting. So because they're depicted in a wrong light and it's anti-Semitic, that's only it is. And plus, he never released anything. And if you listen to the press conference, he said this has nothing to do with any type of Jews or nothing. He keeps denying like what I'm watching it for, what I'm sharing it for has nothing to do with Jews. Like nothing at all. It's for the history of the black people, and that's it. Granted, you feel me? I don't, and for me too, I don't understand why he's getting blamed, right, for watching the documentary and sharing it, but the person publishing it has no slack at all for giving out that wrongful information. They say, Kyrie, you're spreading wrongful information, but they don't go to the person that actually produced the shit and put it out there for people to feed onto it and get their information from. All I see is Kyrie's doing his research. He gets research from this movie, and then he's blamed for it. I don't understand why he's in the wrong for that if what he's getting is wrong. You feel me? And I feel like he's being wrongfully blamed in a situation where it should be more so if you're Jewish and someone's depicting you in the wrong light, and you should go to that person that's depicting you in that way so that other people are not getting that information back. I don't understand why Kyrie is the one that's getting that information and doing it as he's getting blamed. You feel me? If someone is depicting you in a certain lighting, you should go to that person that's depicting you, not the person that's interpreting it. So to me, I feel like they're doing a little bit too much. They're trying to save their, you feel me, save their image and everything with the Brooklyn Nets. I get it, but I feel like the 5 game punishment is enough. Anything with they have him sit with Jewish people and understand why. Like I get it, but bro, it's what he has had nothing to do with Jews, bro, at all. I feel like 5 game punishment is enough.
I'm about to get him.
Go ahead.
All right, so hold on a second. So
Go ahead,
first
bro.
of all,
I have all day for this too. I'm
gonna wait for him to stop talking.
Go ahead.
I didn't talk. He wants to talk when I start talking.
I'm waiting.
Okay. So first of all, the question is, what should the Nets do with Kyrie Irving? He didn't really answer the question. I feel no, you didn't, because all you said was the 5 game minimum was substantial. That's not what should they do with Kyrie Irving. But to get to the main point, sort of what to you was alluding to, let him do the 5 game suspension if it could, because that's the minimum. We don't know if he will be back with the Brooklyn Nets. That's something we're going to have to see. But if he does come back, which I feel that he does the 5 games, bring him back. If he does follow then those steps that they want him to do, but then after that, you gotta let him finish this contract out. Then you have to trade Kyrie Irving. The problem with Kyrie Irving is not what he does on the court, because he's a spectacular talent on the court, probably the most talented point guard in the NBA, just pure talent. But here's the problem: he doesn't know how to hold himself accountable. Jalen, he works for, because as much as this is a sport, this is still a job.
Business.
Mm-hmm. He works for the NBA.
Yeah.
Now, the NBA pays them pretty crazy, do they not?
Mm-hmm.
True.
With that amount of money that they're paying him, there's certain rules and guidelines that Kyrie Irving has to follow. There's also an image, something that I believe you just said in your statement, that the NBA has to uphold, once again, because they have a lot of ties and, things of that nature, with a lot of money being involved. Adam Silver, who is Jewish, was very upset to see something like this. And then here's the thing. Do you remember what happened a little bit earlier in the season with Anthony Edwards? And
Oh yeah.
and he definitely had the whole gay remark thing. What did he do?
He got fined, and then he had to meet with a couple people to see why that was.
But
So.
what did he do to sort of avoid any more of a?
Oh, the apology.
He apologized. Now, is that how Anthony Edwards really feels deep down? That's not for none of us to know. That's on Anthony Edwards. But he knows that you work a job that holds up a certain standard. So whether you kind of want to or not, you just apologize, move on, and that would have been that. Because if Kyrie Irving would have just apologized when they initially, even after he did the whole back and forth with them, Nick Friedel, after that, you should have just apologized. Because it's not about that you're anti-Semitic or you're not. Kyrie's a grown-ass man. Kyrie could do whatever he feels like, but that's not the point of this. You're working a job. Sev, if you worked at a job and they wanted you to do certain things, it's either you're going to do it or you're going to what?
Get fired or just
or you're going to get fired. But if you need the job and you need the money, 9 times out of 10, what are you going to do?
You gonna stay.
You're gonna do what you're gonna do what they're asking you to do. So Kyrie Irving, once again, they're paying you a lot of money, and then it's like this. He wanted this long-term deal. In the summer, they're not gonna give it to you because you do things like this. You do not know how to be accountable. But he always and I love Kyrie Irving because Jalen, I get where you come from. I like that he stands where he stands. I feel that, I understand that. But we gotta look at this as an NBA, point of view. You just have to apologize, and none of all this extra stuff would have never happened because I watched the interview now after. Because remember, there was like 2 days where they weren't letting him speak.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He did the interview during the practice. I watched the whole thing. I replayed it because
after the practice one or after the game one where he went.
No. The one in their practice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where he said he didn't mean no harm. I feel like that was his apology, but he didn't fully come.
You still did not just say I apologize. We get that you're not, because I don't even think none of them really feel he's anti-Semitic.
No, yeah,
it's that you're not apologizing. That's just it. And why can't he just do that and move on to the try to win a champion? He now apologized.
Yeah, after the suspension. Yeah, that don't really help. Because now it's digging in your pocket.
Because now you might not. Because this is all the 5 games are not being paid for. So now it's fucking up the bag, right? Listen, we seen players that had a lot of talent, could do so many spectacular things on the court, but what they do off the court messes everything up. And no, the situations aren't particularly the same, but just look at something like a Miles Bridges to where what he did off the court has now messed with what?
Money. Ain't even getting signed.
So it's like you got to realize how to really separate the two. Whatever Kyrie wants to do in his personal time, do that on your personal time. He's a grown man. I like what Kyrie stands for because I like that he doesn't just follow what everyone's doing. He's going to go off his own accord. That's fine.
But I do feel like it doesn't exercise the freedom of speech or his own. People saying that he is not educated on what that part. I seen a lot of it and being analysts saying he's not educated on that. Because Kyrie's a educated person. He does all this deep research.
Because still look, Kyrie Irving doesn't know how the Jewish community, how this really affects them. You just don't know.
Right.
You don't know the real hurt that you're doing, especially when the commissioner is Jewish.
Right.
So it's kind of like a slap in the face. And then it was like when they tried to do the meeting before they even did this whole suspension, he didn't go. He sent a team. Listen, man. After this season, they have to trade Kyrie Irving. Now, in terms of Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, I don't know about none of that. That's the thing. But with Kyrie Irving, you have to let him go.
I'll just say blow it up. That's really my standpoint right now. Just blow the team up, man.
I think they'll be fine.
No.
I think they'll be fine.
Well, really look at what transpired.
Wait, what do you mean they'll be fine? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, what is fine?
I think they'll be fine.
What is fine? Fine is winning basketball games.
I feel you feel me. Granted, this is a basketball team. Their main goal is to play basketball and everything. I feel like they'll be fine in that aspect of playing basketball, off court things and disciplining wise. That's what they need to focus on. But I feel like basketball wise and record wise, they'll be fine once they execute on the floor. They just fired their head coach and everything. They're kind of transitioning into a new light of basketball, and they're trying to get out those traditional ways of where they used to play. So I feel like they're trying to make change within their organization. I feel like they'll be fine.
This team is a mess.
I know he's lost his mind. But what do you mean they'll be fine?
They'll be fine.
Number one, they're about 2-6 right now. Like 2-7.
Nah,
Yeah.
3.
They're 3.
Yeah.
3-6.
3 and 7. 3 and 7.
Either way, they're multiple games under 500, and they have one of the worst defenses in the NBA. Jock Bond's not gonna help that, and neither is Ime Udoka, because look, even though Ime Udoka, which is you're bringing in more drama into a drama-filled situation, just like you said, but there's not a Jaylen Brown on this team. There's not a Marcus Smart on this team. They were supposed to be with Ben Simmons, but then once again, Jaylen feels like he's having a solid season so far.
And he hasn't been playing games either.
And he's injured, bro.
Oh my God! How much time is he gonna be injured?
He didn't play for a year and a half. How many?
My nigga, did you watch the game? He get injured, bro.
Done, man.
Y'all do this overreacting shit,
But now
bro.
Ben Simmons says today, I'm gonna try to play 20 minutes tonight. Can you try to defend tonight? Jalen, they are one of the worst defensive teams. Digits? And Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, they can't just leave. This is why I had them as a 6 seed. What did I say? Of talent, I feel they'll avoid the play-in before all this happens, but we have to see this. It sounds good, and I learned my lesson because we all know I'm a LeBron fan. When I seen Westbrook come to the team, I'm like, Westbrook, AD, LeBron, this has to work. It didn't. Just having top-end talent on the team does not mean things are just automatically going to work out, and this team is not working out.
But did you also...
Mostly because they traded James Harden away for Ben Simmons, thinking that Ben Simmons was going to be that defensive anchor. You know this, sir. And has he been even close to that this season? No. Has he been close?
I say he takes on the most defensive responsibility, but to be that guy that he was in Philly, he's a shell of himself right now. And that's one of the reasons I feel like they're struggling. If you look at the 2 games that they just recently won, or was it the game?
And his offense is terrible.
Go ahead, bro. I'm listening. This
whole thing right now has been KD.
We're saying facts.
The whole Brooklyn Nets has left KD by himself.
Okay.
Like, what the hell?
For both of y'all, I want y'all. Wait. Before both of y'all, do y'all really notice that the Nets have been winning these games, but in the late time, crunch time, they can't make adjustments? They've been winning. I seen them against the Pacers. They were up 20 in the fourth quarter. They get tied. And guess what? They fired their coach Steve Nash.
How many points?
Yo. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me. Oh, wait. I'll let you go. 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 I'll let you go.
I don't know the kid's name.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go. But then that's what I'm saying. I'm watching it. They're up there getting these big leads. They don't know how to manage these big leads. They can't deal with adjustments. I watched them against the Chicago Bulls. They were good until they get to the fourth quarter. They can't make adjustments. They go to the Pacers, win by 20, get to the fourth quarter. They can't make adjustments. It's a common theme. They fire Steve Nash the next game. They blow up teams by 30. Then you see and then you go to the next game again. Wait. Let me speak, because this is facts I'm speaking. This is facts I'm speaking. Not opinionated. When you think Ben Simmons, you think Ben Simmons is all this. This is facts. This is facts.
But Ben Simmons haven't been playing.
This is facts. This is facts. They fire Steve Nash. They blow out the team by 30. Then again, right? They've been having these troubles. But then they have. But wait. They've been having these troubles. They've been having these troubles closing out games. They get a close game against the Hornets, right? They feel me, and then KD makes a smart play. They win the game.
LaMelo Ball.
Then they win the game, regardless it's a close game.
It shouldn't be close. Do you hear what you're saying? A close game.
Nah. They don't have Kyrie or Ben Simmons, Justin. How the fuck is not supposed to be a close game? You're overreacting for nothing. You're overreacting for nothing. You can overreact for whatever you want. You can overreact for whatever you want. You can overreact for everyone. If you watch the fucking games, you'll see the problem. You can see the problem. You can blame Ben Simmons. You can blame Ben Simmons. You can blame Ben Simmons. He hasn't played the past game.
game.
not
You
blaming
can
Ben
blame
Simmons.
anybody you want. You can blame all the players you
Just
want.
on the
But when you
defensive
see the
end,
bullshit happening,
yes, I'm going
I
to blame
see
Ben
it.
Simmons.
Go
Yes.
ahead, you can blame all you want.
On the
But when you
defensive end,
actually
yes.
see the shit, when
On
you
the
actually,
defensive end, yes,
but
I
when
will
you
blame Ben Simmons.
because you're not watching the
Yes, I
fucking
will.
games.
How
You're
am I
not.
watching the
You're
games?
not.
I am
You're
watching
not.
the games.
You're not. If they're up fucking 20 points, it's not fucking because of
He could
defense.
yell,
Like you're not watching the games. You're not gonna see it. I watch
I'm
every
watching the
fucking
same
Nets game.
game.
What you're
I'm
going
not-
off
I'm
opinion.
watching the same
Come on,
game.
get a nigga that back. I'm not arguing with a nigga that don't watch games, bro. I'm not arguing with a nigga that don't watch games.
Alright,
Watch
hear
the
me out.
games and you'll see, nigga.
Alright.
The fuck?
Hold-
I'm
hold
not
it
gonna
down,
argue
hold
with
it
you if
down.
you're not watching games.
Hold it down.
This shit is like
Hold it
irrelevant,
down,
bro.
hold it
It's
down, hold
fucking
on.
irrelevant.
But what we're saying is what me and Justo was saying. When Kyrie, Ben Simmons, and KD are out on the court, they do not have a record together.
Bro, bro.
Listen, wait, can I finish?
Okay, go.
These past 2 games have been carried by Kevin Durant. My problem is they always leave Kevin Durant out there by himself every trip.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a team, right?
Okay, but
So I have to see how well everything works
Okay.
together when I'm
But
not
hear me
going
out.
off these 2 games. These 2 games have been solid, right? Because
Okay.
Kevin Durant has led the charge.
okay, go.
But what I'm saying is I need to see more from Ben
Can you
Simmons.
also name who did they play? Because just make sure you name who they
What the
played.
yeah, and they blew out the Wizards. Something that they were supposed to do that if they had all their players. But we have to see. No, what I'm saying is
No, I'm saying to Jalen's statement during this 2-game win streak, but
With your two best players.
It's level.
With
of
your two best
it's
players
level-
on your
it's
head coach just
still
got fired.
level of competition. Jalen Kevin Durant
Mm-hmm.
should be able to get that done because he's a top 10 player.
Yeah, and they should be
in
able to
the
beat the
NBA.
Pacers. They should be able to beat the Pacers, but they can't.
Yeah, because their defense is atrocious.
Because
How-
it's defense.
How
again.
many points did they give up to the
But
Indiana?
then,
Man, I
Pacers?
say
like
the
I said,
offense,
but
too, the
like
offense.
I said,
He
my
can't
thing,
answer that
but
question.
my thing is right.
can't
You
answer
notice, right? They've been having all these troubles. They're supposed to beat the Pacers. They lose to the Pacers, right?
Right.
They've been losing these games that they're supposed to win. Their 2 best players are out. Their head coach gets fired. Why all of a sudden they start winning games?
I say the better rotation
Why?
too.
Why?
Cam Thomas definitely got on lock.
You see, right?
These past 2 games.
Cam Thomas didn't get
Cam
any
Thomas
play in a
out.
role. Cam Thomas didn't get any play in a rotation when Steve Nash was there. Steve Nash gets fired. He automatically just has a 17-point game and has a great game, right? A vital piece of the team, right? Royce O'Neal, you feel me? Has a stellar game. You feel me? Everybody is flourishing. You see the chemistry on the court, right?
Yeah.
You feel me?
But
But
what
it's
I
the
need to
defense, right?
No, but what I need to see is when everybody's out there healthy
Yeah,
too. Because you got to
exactly.
remind you, those are 2 winnable games.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to it, what can you do against the top ranked teams in the Eastern
Right.
Conference?
I
We
understand.
have to see that when Ben Simmons and Kyrie are all on the floor too.
I agree.
Well, I'm not
I
going
just-
off these 2 games. These
I
2 games
agree.
are supposed to be. They're
I
supposed to
agree.
be must wins.
I
Even if
agree.
Steve Nash was a head coach. But
I
what
agree.
I'm saying is that I have to see more. Like feel me,
I
the
agree.
defense has been shit.
I
But
agree.
like feel me, I'll
Can
hold
I,
Ben.
can I
I
just
agree.
address some things that you said because
Go ahead.
you started yelling? Which,
Yeah.
I
Because
don't-
you didn't let me speak. Go ahead.
You started yelling. So let me address one thing. Number one, I do watch the games because I bet on the games. So I have to watch the fucking games. I'm betting money on them. I'm watching the games.
Mhm.
That's just number one. You can't tell me I'm not watching games because you don't live with me. You
Okay.
would never know if I'm watching games or not.
Okay.
That's like if you say you watch the games, how the fuck would I know?
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, how has their defense been this season?
It's been okay.
All right.
Like I said.
No. If y'all have anything more to say, because I can't argue things that make no sense. I literally just looked at the defensive efficiency. They're one of the worst teams.
How much points do they give up?
Like, oh no, I don't have that. But even that Pacer game he's talking about that they lost. How many points did they give up to the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, and
Answer?
Yeah.
Can he can't
they-
answer
okay,
that.
they gave up a lot of points in the 4th quarter. Granted,
Why? But okay, and then who's their best defensive player on the team?
it's, Ben Simmons. Yes,
So has he lived up to what he's supposed to be defensively?
yes, I feel like he has. You're asking one player to take the responsibility of 5 guys, bro.
I asked him a
And
question,
then-
and then he changes the narrative of what I'm
No,
talking
I'm not trying to
about.
change the narrative at all.
Ben
I'm not.
Simmons has not been good defensively, and you know this.
He's
He's sitting here saying that.
bro. You're
Both you guys
you're
got
going
points.
you're
It's
going
crazy.
off of that off of one. He's guarding one person. That one person not just scoring the whole
He has
game.
not been the same defensive player that he was on the
So
76ers.
okay, so wait.
You have
Okay,
players
yeah.
picking him out on defense. That's never been the thing.
Okay.
Now that is happening. Luka Doncic. He's trying to do that
Okay.
pick and roll to get Ben Simmons onto him.
Yeah, and then
Pascal Siakam,
Zion
we seen
Williamson,
those.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam,
Okay.
Giannis. You don't notice even after Giannis is backing him down and going like this.
Mhm.
But this is supposed to be Ben Simmons, the defensive player that was top
That
three.
start-
That was top 3 in defensive player of the year votes just 2 seasons ago.
yeah, guarding
Alright,
your best
but
defensive
time out,
matchup
time
of the
out.
year,
I
and
do
also
feel like it's just because
Also,
But
too,
here's
they don't
the
have like
thing,
an emotional
Jalen.
presence
Wait,
in the
hold on,
paint,
wait,
too.
hold on, Seb. Hold on,
Also,
Seb. Wait, hold on, Seb. Hold on, Jay. What you thought? But even so, you're saying the best player, but it still should not be that easy to where they're picking him out, Jalen. That's what we get. That's the best player, and that's a tough job. Period. We get that point you're trying to make, but since you're watching the games more than anyone in New York City,
didn't say that.
you should see that they're picking him out on the defensive end. Do you not see that? Since you're watching more games than anyone in the world,
I did not say that.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I seen.
But
Wait.
But
You see?
Jalen also said it
Okay,
in this
go ahead.
little
Go crazy.
rant, on this little rant that he's been on because he's in his feelings.
Go ahead. I'm not in my feelings.
No, you
Go
are
ahead.
in your feelings. I
Go
can
ahead.
tell.
Go ahead.
You're in your
No,
feelings.
get your shit off. I'm waiting to
You're in
speak.
your-
You've been speaking for like 5 minutes.
He's mad
Go
right
ahead.
now. He's
I'm
mad.
not.
He's mad because probably a team he had a lot of
No.
faith in is
No.
crumbling under the pressure.
I didn't. He's wrong.
And
He's speaking. He's
then-
talking so long to
and
prove,
then-
trying to make himself right. That's why he's talking for so long,
I
bro.
will not. And now also, he tried to blame Steve Nash.
I blame
Tried.
him. I blame that motherfucker too.
Tried. They had multiple 20-point leads and they lost. And
That's on Steve Nash, though. I get that as a coach, you're supposed to make adjustments in the game.
He never made
I-
adjustments.
thank you, Seb. Thank you.
You gotta hold.
And can
can
I please speak? Can I please speak? Because this nigga been speaking for like 7 minutes. I watched the
I didn't
Chicago.
speak for
I
7
watched the Chicago Bull game. They went on a 17-0 run. They couldn't get a basket. You feel me? Kyrie Irving couldn't get a basket. They just kept giving. They just kept. They just kept giving the ball to Kevin Durant. They didn't run any plays. They didn't do anything. They just kept giving the ball to their star players. Alex Caruso clamped them shits up. No one's rebounding on the offensive end. No one's doing nothing. They're just giving the ball to their star players and just hoping they could win games. Mind you, this is when Steve Nash was on the head coach. I watched the whole watched the Wizards game and I watched the Hornets game. They're collaboratively, you feel me, working together to win games. Kevin Durant didn't even take the last shot for them to win the game, last game against the Hornets. Yuta Watanabe took the last shot for them to win the game. You think that shit's gonna happen if Steve Nash the head coach? Hell no. They're giving the ball to Kevin Durant and then letting him just riding him to get the win. That's my point exactly. That's why I feel the Nets were unsuccessful. His point is fucking defense, and blame Ben Simmons. That's fucking false. Period.
How is it false when they're not a good defensive team?
You're blaming one person. Ben Simmons.
I'm saying that they made the trade for Ben Simmons and then didn't sign any type of physical big, like anything like that, because they thought Ben Simmons was going to be that guy, and he's not been that guy. Like that's just it. For you to say, I've not heard no one else say he's been solid on either end of the floor. I've heard no one say he's the only person I've heard say that. And then when I'm watching the games, like I said, once again, they're picking him out on whenever that player is on the offensive end, they're picking him out. They want Ben Simmons to guard him because they know his head's not even in it mentally.
Yeah, but do you think that's the reason that they're losing games?
That's not those.
Jalen, of course, that's
I'm asking
the
you
only
a reason.
reason.
But, okay,
the biggest
okay,
reason
okay.
to me, yes, is on the defensive end.
That's
Jalen.
that's the biggest
Yes,
reason.
because on any night, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving could win you a game.
So-
They're just like
so
Kevin
when they
Durant has done.
So when they have
But
these,
their record is like this because they're not a good defensive team.
so when they have these multiple leads, it's because of Ben Simmons not playing defense.
No, Jalen, and I've never said that.
You said that's the
But-
main problem, bro.
Yes, their main problem is defensively.
Okay.
Like,
I rest my case,
are
bro.
the Nets a good defense? Wait,
I
hold on,
just- I
Seb.
just
Are the
rest my
Nets a good
case, bro.
defensive team?
I rest my case.
Oh, well, everybody knew that.
Seb,
though.
Jalen, are the Nets a good defensive team?
No, okay. I rest
Yo,
my
he
case, bro.
thinks they're, all right, fine.
Yo,
You
next
know what?
topic.
just
Next
rest my
topic.
case.
All right,
next
all right,
topic.
hold
I
on.
rest my case.
These Brooklyn Nets topics get really,
Bro.
heated. Like you've seen like
No,
these last
no.
episodes.
It's not even about getting heated. It's what I said when we did our first episode. Anyone on the Nets does, he finds an excuse. Has he not done that for any topic regarding the? He's find something that's the problem. It's Steve Nash. Is this? Is that?
No, I
Bro.
agree with him. There's like the whole organization is a mess. It's
course
really a
it is.
mess. Yeah. So from top to bottom, so if the front office is a mess, I think it goes all the way down to like, feel me, even the water boys, like it goes all the way down. I feel like once your
It
front
didn't
office is
seem like a mess before they got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. It seemed like they were building a solid foundation, was they not?
yeah, and they let it go.
Yeah, and they signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
And hire Steve Nash.
Oh my god!
I think everybody knew Steve Nash couldn't coach
But
those type of groups.
but
He needs a younger
even-
group
but,
though.
But even so, they had Kenny Atkinson. That was a good coach, and they fired him. So why'd they fire Kenny Atkinson?
Give Steve Nash a chance.
Somebody asked for Steve Nash though.
Yeah.
Somebody asked for Steve Nash, but if you really look at it, Steve Nash didn't really have like, feel me.
A
He
rookie-
couldn't set a foundation. Like he needed
a rookie head coach at that.
Yeah, a rookie head coach is not going.
But then
to
you gotta also understand, Steve Nash was set. We're gonna get into Steve Nash a little bit later. We gotta get into the next segment. Jalen's top 5 teams of the week.
All right. So
I did a lot of research. There's some adjustments to the list, but we're just gonna start it right off. Number 5, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently sitting at a 7-3 record. They've been doing very well this past week, defeating teams like the Blazers, the Hornets, and the Wizards. This is kind of a main reason why they're number 5, because they did knock out the Blazers, who are on my list the past 2 weeks. I feel like they've been doing very well, and I feel like we kind of seen a shift of them on the offensive end. Definitely changing the way that they're playing as well. I feel like this past week, John Morant has been having like less responsibility and less demanding of having to score the ball more for them to win games. Has been sitting at like under like 25 points per game these past week, and he's still been winning games. Shout out to Desmond Bain having an effective season as well, and all that. So currently they're sitting at 117 points per game, 47 rebounds, 24 assists a game, 7 steals, and 5 blocks a game. Currently, they're 6th in the league in 3-point rating, so they're definitely efficient at shooting the 3-point shooting from the 3-point line. I feel like they're definitely great at that. John Morant currently at the season is having 28, 5, 6. Definitely having great shooting splits as well. Has 48% from the field, 47 from the 3-point line, and 83 from the free throw line. He can be on pace to get that 50, 40, 90, but he does have to shoot better at that free throw line. So that's the one thing we have to look at as well. Desmond Bain having close to 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, and close to 5 assists, having a 25-5 season. I feel like he definitely made a drastic improvement, kind of solidifying himself as the second best player on the Memphis Grizzlies. Definitely has great shooting splits as well. 45% from the field, 47 from the 3-point line, and 88% from the free throw. 50, 40, 90, something else to watch out for. Then you have also key contributors in Dylan Brooks at 15 points per game, the Tyus Jones at 11 points, 4 assists. And then you have Steven Adams at an effective 11 rebounds a game, definitely giving them something that they needed with Jaren Jackson Jr. out. So definitely shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies for being 5th on the list. For number 4, I have the Phoenix Suns. I feel like they definitely kind of been continuing that trend. I feel like Devin Booker has been the main predicate of this offense. Chris Paul has been more so facilitating, getting guys to score more. I feel like they've been doing a great and effective job overall. Sitting at 115 points per game, 42 rebounds, 28 assists, which is third in the league. Close to 8 steals a game. They have 6 blocks a games, which is 5th in the league, and they're shooting 47% from the field goal percentage overall, 7th in the league as well. I feel they could be shooting better from the 3-point line. They're currently sitting at 36%, which is very solid, but I feel like for this team, they need to be shooting a little bit better. Devin Booker currently sitting at 27 points per game, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Shooting 48% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line, 87%. From the free throw, DeAndre Ayton, currently 15 points per game, 8 rebounds, 57% from the field. Mikal Bridges, 15 points per game, 5 rebounds, doing a solid job, and he's being a very effective shooter, shooting 60% from the field goal range and 50% from the 3-point line, which is very efficient. 50% from the 3-point line is very, very standout. And then you have Cam Johnson, 13 and 3, and then Chris Paul at 10 points per game, 10 assists. He's definitely been improving his points per game average as of recent, so definitely that's something else to look out for. Number three on my list, I have the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz has been coming up as a consistent team on this list. Um, um, they have been a consistent team on this list. Currently, this week they defeated the Grizzlies twice. The Lakers and the Clippers, definitely some strong teams there. You definitely have them overall at 116 points per game, which is sixth in the league. Definitely, they have definitely like the way they score. They have variations. It's not just one person. That could give you a good night. 45 rebounds, 27 assists, fourth in steals at nine, close to nine a game, and overall just shooting very well. 46% from the field, 36% from the 3-point line. Laurie Markkinen, effective 21, close to 10 rebounds, 51% from the field, shooting poorly from the 3-point line, but that hasn't stopped them from their success. You have Jordan Clarkson, 18 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Effective shooting as well. Colin Sexton, 14 points, 47% from the field, shooting 40% from the 3-point line. Great attributes right there. And then you have Mike Conley at 12 points per game, seven assists, and shooting effective as well. Kelly Olynyk, something else to look out for, has been shooting 58% from the 3-point line, and he is not missing. So he is definitely I'm comfortable in this offensive set, and I definitely like what I'm seeing. Now for number two, this might come as a surprise for many of you guys, but I have the Bucks at number two. And before I get into it, I have them at number two only because the team that is number one, I feel like they had this week a tougher competition. I feel like the Bucks, their schedule just really has kind of been like the competition that they're facing is really per se easy. They beat the Pistons twice this week, the Timberwolves and the Thunder. When I was doing this, I had them first, but when I was weighing the factors, I just had to put the number one team above them. They have 112 points per game, 51 rebounds a game, which is leading all teams in that attribute. You have 24 assists a game, 7 to 8, close to 8 steals, 6 blocks a game. No, close to 7 blocks a game, which is third in the league. Again, they've been kind of shaky shooting, 45% from the field and 34% from the 3-point line, which is kind of a little bit shaky. And they're shooting 71% from the free throw line. I feel like that's something we definitely need to pay attention to. Giannis having an effective season, 32 points per game, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, close to 2 blocks, 55% from the field, but also shooting 63% from the free throw line. So that's definitely something to look out. Drew Holiday, solid season, 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, close to having 2 steals a game. Brook Lopez, 15 points per game, 7 rebounds, close to 3 blocks a game. You have Bobby Portis, 13 points, 11 rebounds per game, second behind Giannis on the team, 46% from the field goal percentage, but shooting 33% from the 3-point line. Grayson Allen, solid, just 10 points and 41% from the 3-point line. Number one, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel like a lot was proven during this week. I definitely watched the Knicks game, how they pull out throughout in them late game situations. Donovan Mitchell making wise decisions. Even watching the Celtics game, seeing him make wise decisions down in those clutch moments. Again, this week they faced the Knicks, Celtics, Pistons, and the Lakers. Are definitely some competition there. You have them at 116 points per game, 45 rebounds, 25 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks, shooting 47% from the field, 81% from the free throw line. Okay, and then you have Donovan Mitchell, 31 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 49, 40, and 89, close to that 50, 40, 90 range. Darius Garland, 19 points per game, 7 rebounds. His shooting splits are yet solid, but they will improve as he gets more reps. Claris LeVert, 14 points a game, five assists, shooting 45% from that 3-point line, very effective. Evan Mobley, 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, close to 2 blocks, 53% from the field. Jared Allen, 14-11, and Kevin Love, 12 points per game and 41% from the 3-point line. So definitely shout out to all those teams. Just to recap the top 5 teams, we have the Grizzlies, the Suns, the Jazz, the Bucks, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So shout out to all those teams.
I have no comment.
Oh, yeah, nothing to say.
Yeah, like,
I'm not
that's
mad
cool.
at the 5 teams on the list. I just feel they're in a weird order because you have teams with a better record over teams with the worst record. So, like I would have had the Suns over the Jazz, um, and like even the last two, I would have had the Bucks over the Cavs. Seeing the Bucks haven't lost a game yet, I feel that that's being a little bit swept under the rug. But overall, I think the top five is strong. I still think we don't show any love to the Atlanta Hawks though. I still think a team that's definitely showing a showing a great offensive and defensive scheme out there. But besides that, I think the list is good.
Yeah.
But moving on then to the next topic, don't overreact. Something that we implemented the first week. Of the first week.
A second.
Second year.
Well, when we started doing the official NBA, and not the off season, but Jalen, I'll start with, or matter of fact, I'll start with Seb. Give us your don't overreact take.
Oh man, so my don't overreact, but I got the Miami Heat as a playing team. I'm really like disappointed how the way they started off the season, coming in 4-6. From a team that just came last year as the number one seed and really just one shot away from making it to the finals. You think they would come out a little more hot, a little more hungrier, like to have a same success as last season. I do feel like Jimmy Butler, even though he's averaging 21 points a game, I feel like he's just been like a little bit like just calm about it, just like from the playoff success that he had last season, coming in averaging like 27, 7-7, around those ranges. You would think he'd come out more like ready to go, like a MVP caliber season. I really feel like he just taking this season like as a pedestrian walk. The defense hasn't been that good. I don't know if it's in due part to within the losing PJ Tucker. I feel like that's a big asset on the defensive end as well. And guys like Bam Adebayo, that I was hoping to take like another major leap. The only good part that's come out of it to me, in my opinion, is Tyler Hero. Someone that's just got paid, averaging 19 right now. Seems like he's doing this thing, but overall, just the team success, I just had more higher hopes for the Miami Heat. But the way that it's looking right now, it looks like since they didn't make no moves in the off season, that it might just come back to bite them, and they might be looking at a playing team.
Right. I definitely think the Heat are kind of just coasting right now. They don't seem like they're playing with too much of any real type of a urgency. But it's still just the beginning of the season. I think I had them like at 5 or 6 because I just felt like even something I think that Jalen said, they didn't really get better or sign anyone new, like a big signing or anything like that, or made a trade that really got them better. It's kind of the same team, and I feel other teams got better. So Miami Heat just the plane, wherever you land in the plane could be very risky because you just lose a game and your whole season is kind of down the drain. So hopefully they could pick that up. Jalen.
I don't want to be overreact, but I said that all wrong. But don't overreact. But I don't think the Timberwolves might not make the playoffs. From what it seems,
Pull back up the footage, y'all.
Yeah.
Pull back up the footage.
So
when we not go ahead.
But yeah. I feel like as of right now, there's a lot of chemistry issues. I feel like they don't know how to play together. I feel like similar to what I said before. Like I feel even Anthony Edwards complained that he's not even dunking that more because there's not that many lanes, which I kind of pointed at, like having Rudy Gobert in that paint. I feel like overall, also with the team, they don't know how to flow on offense. I feel like D'Angelo Russell is having a struggle, and I don't know what's his struggle. He acts like he's like the fourth option on the team when he's an effective scorer, and I don't understand why he's not picking up the spots at all. Rudy Gobert clogs a lot of stuff for them on offense. I don't see Karl Anthony Towns having the success that he once had. I don't feel like he's comfortable in that offense. I feel like it's really just a mess. And even Anthony Edwards pointed to the fact that even when the starters are in the game, like they don't really have an impact. But when the bench is in the game, they're scoring more, they're more efficient. So it's that's like a bad sighting for them if the starters are in the negative and the bench is in a positive. So I don't know how they counteract that. I feel like they was better just having Cat at the center, but yeah,
All right. I'm definitely not mad at that take because the
yeah,
Timberwolves haven't really been making any noise, and they
yeah.
supposedly had one of the bigger trades of the offseason.
Really though.
But something that I kind of alluded to when we had the big debate, definitely go watch that episode. We was talking
One.
about the Timberwolves and that signing. What I was trying to say was like I felt they did all that to possibly be worse. And I mean worse as in seeding though.
Yeah.
You feel because we all know Rudy Gobert does what he does on the defensive end, but he has no offensive game. And something that you're kind of alluding to, it's kind of messing with Carl Anthony Towns, like how he operates on the floor, because Rudy Gobert's gonna be right there. You feel
I ain't gonna front. See the nigga airball a three. The first three I think I seen him take. He airball that shit.
So it's like I feel last year they had a better team. Patrick Beverly, and I tried to bring him up was like, even though what he's doing for the Lakers is I don't know about that, but when he was on the Timberwolves, like he was like that, sort of like the Draymond role, the heart and soul.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm talking about now? You miss even he's not a 30-point per game scorer, but you need a player like that because who's going to be that guy now to you gotta realize Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony Towns, aren't they both still under 25 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you sort of need that guy on the team that's gonna yo cat. You're playing like a cat. Like you feel Anthony Edwards, you gotta take over in this moment. Like so, it's like I feel they gave away some key pieces that they needed that made them a team. They gave it away for Gobert, and now they
Just gotta see how it plays out.
They are how they are. Hopefully they could turn it around, but we're just gonna have to see. For my don't overreact, I don't want to overreact, but just from what I'm seeing, I feel the Utah Jazz will be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference and avoid the play-in. I had them, I believe, as 15, like the worst team in the Western Conference, and right now they're at 2. Right, they're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They're in both offensive and defensive efficiency. They're both top 10 in both of those categories. They definitely coached very well by Will Hardy, who came from that Boston staff, who just went to the finals last year. So he definitely has a great mind. I like with this type of team right here, when you have a good mixture of young guys and vets, I think we're seeing a lot of unselfishness and that ball movement, right? Everyone's eating. It's not like it's the Colin Sexton show or it's like the Lauri Markkinen show. I feel everyone just gets a piece of the pie, and you're seeing players just like a Sexton and a Markkinen, a Malik Beasley. They're just thriving in their roles. I feel like the coach just made sure everyone knows their role on that team, and they're all just playing effectively. Jordan Clarkson, what he's doing on the court, I feel is good for the team. And yeah, I think they're not gonna be a playing team because it's like they got wins over like sort of what you said when you're doing the top 5. You know, they beat the Nuggets, they beat the Grizzlies, they beat the Clippers, they beat the Pelicans. All teams that I feel we all thought were going to be better than them, even though it's a small sample size at the beginning of the season. But I have the Utah Jazz as being a top 6 seed this year, so that means no Victor Wembanyama. But that's kind of weird to me, and I don't know how good this strategy kind of is because it's not like free agents are clamoring to go to Utah. So it's sort of like you either through trade or the draft is where you're going to get your stars. And this is supposed to be one of the best prospects we've seen since LeBron James. So you miss out on him just to show what we're not the laughing stock.
I don't know. I think Danny Ainge know what he's doing over there though. Because when you look at all the pieces he acquired, he could have easily went to trade Donovan Mitchell to New York route. But he said, I guess he took a good hard look at what Cleveland had to offer, and that's why he pulled that trade off. Like getting the guys like we're not gonna keep Pat Bev or Bojan Bogdanovic, guys like that. We was like, what is like they're just gonna go full rebuild. But I think what they got going on is really like just a whole bunch of role players that's coming that just like gonna create an identity for themselves.
Right. Moving on to the last segment of the show, the classic hash it or pass it. Russell Westbrook thriving in his bench role. The Lakers are, I believe, 2-2 with him in that role. Yeah. Or is it 2-3 now because they lost to the Cavs? If I'm messing that up, I apologize. But overall, he's had a positive impact in that role. So hash it or pass it, Jalen.
I feel like Russell is just more comfortable